Alright, we have our claim on Conduct ready. Again, we just click See It Done. We move our military rally point to a place that's slightly closer, so we continue our attack as quickly as possible. So now let us well, can't raise the army until we've declared the war. We'll declare the war for our claims. Now we'll raise our entire army here and march in and take their land. Now we should see, yes, that the Duke of Bohemia has joined the war. However, they are very, very far away, so it should take them much longer than the 6 months required in order to siege this land down. And actually the nice thing is that we've taken him our prisoner. So if we do happen to see Bohemia about to come in and crush us, we can always end the war at that point and enforce our demands. But hopefully our siege progresses quickly enough that we can take this land and ransom this guy for some good money. Let's see, what could we get? 100 gold. That's pretty big. That's huge. And it looks like our siege is progressing pretty quickly. Only 2 months left. That's pretty nice. So we'll max out that speed. And yep, we see Bohemia's coming. They are very, very close to fighting us right here. It's going to take them 6 days to arrive, but we only have 3 days left. Let's turn down the time. Make sure that we get it right away. Excellent. We controlled it, and actually, apparently, once we took it, the war ended for some reason. Huh. I guess maybe it forced us to take it. So we should have ransomed that guy more quickly. Oh no, we lost out on 100 gold. But again, it's not too big of a deal. It's just going to slow us down a little bit. So our next target. Typically, we would want to go after Briefne. However, the Earldom of Dublin is kind of being a pain in our side. So we could just kind of come around here and start going after Eilich, Oriel, and Ulster, which I think is actually what we're going to do. We could fabricate a claim here and call in our big buddy, Kingdom of England, to come beat down Dublin, but let me just show you what you would do if, say perhaps, England didn't win the war. The William the Bastard, now William the Conqueror, didn't win, which does sometimes happen, and maybe you don't have a very strong ally, maybe France got beat up, who knows the different reasons. Let me just show you how to do it without the aid of your allies. So again, we're going to fabricate a claim up here. And as you can see, it's going to take 3 years instead of 18 months because it's slightly further away because we're not connected contiguously by land. However, we still can fabricate a claim on them. Nice. We got a very good event giving us plus 300 diplomacy lifestyle. Again, we're going to get Thoughtful and then the Ducal Conquest to make forming the Duchy and Kingdom that much cheaper. So another thing you can do with your swaying is to sway powerful vassals who you don't really want on the council because they don't have that good of stats. You can see his stats, they're not really better than anyone else we currently have on the council. So let's just use sway so that he likes us. You always want your powerful vassals to like you. It's just good strategy. So we'll just sway him in order to keep him happy and we don't have to give away any of our good positions on the council. Alright, now we can appoint a guardian. Let's see, this would not be our heir because we already have another son, so we don't really care too much who educates her. We could give it to somebody for an opinion bonus. So let's see, how about to our bishop? We want our bishop to continue to like us. That's fine, we'll send the proposal, he can train her. Just something to do with those sons and daughters that won't really be inheriting any lands. Okay, we now actually have the claim fabricated on the earldom here. Let's just double check. They don't have any allies. So again, we're going to put our rally point close as can be to them. And let's make sure that we just right-click to declare our war for our claims. We will raise the entire army here and move in for the siege. Now, because we are so far away, they may be able to dodge us, but it looks like they won't be able to. So that's great. We'll be able to go after them, take these lands up here. Okay, so we got another perk. Let's grab that ducal conquest. Now we can switch off of this diplomat focus and go back into martial, gain some more of these skills, which will be really useful. Again, the control growth is great for gaining more gold and levies, which will be, again, really useful for expanding and consolidating our lands. And since we're about to take this over, let's see. Okay, we have nobody who we can ransom. Hopefully we get some good prisoners here. Alright, looks like we did. Let's see who we can ransom. We can ransom them off for 10 golds. But nobody else. Alright, let's enforce the demands. Take these lands for ourselves. Okay, so apparently we are now thrown into a war with Ulster and Dublin, because they were in a war for Eilich as well. So let's come over here, let's beat up Munster first before we take care of Dublin. But this, again, is where having strong allies is super nice. So we can actually call England into our war against the Dubliner claim. He will accept. We don't have to pay any prestige because now this is a defensive war. This is really awesome for us. Also, who are we still allied with? We are allied with Prince Philip of France, so we can call him into our war. How about you help us with this war up here? He'll join as well. So now we have some really strong allies coming in who will make short work of these enemies. We'll take care of Ulster all by ourselves. Let's check. Has this updated? It looks like it did. That's great. You never know in games like this whether it will update or not. Wow, so he has a strong fort, probably from some certain events. Let's go fight his army instead of sieging him. And what I'm looking for here is not actually a full destruction of these enemies. What I want to do instead is actually just get them to agree to a white peace. So we gained victory there. They may accept a white peace. Not yet. They're still at -2. Okay, so now we need to come over here and kind of beat up these Dubliners so that they stop fighting us. Some of our allies just showed up. I believe it's the French prince. So we can come fight this army here and again hopefully gain enough to dissuade these people from fighting us. Okay, this will be enough to enforce this white peace. Let's just end these wars quickly so that we can continue to expand. In fact, now that Dublin's out of this war, it may be more beneficial for us to continue our fight against Ulster. Although, never mind. Let's just go for the white peace. It's fine. We don't really care. We can disband our army, which will then make us more gold per month. Also, we want to make sure that we put our guy who's increasing control. We could go to Ossory because the control gets decreased when it's sieged. But let's actually put him up into Eilich because this has, I believe, yeah, much lower control here. So we'll increase the control there. One nice thing about playing as the Duke of Munster is that he has high stewardship, and also in the 1066 start, you have unlocked certain techs which allow you to have a much higher domain. So we are directly holding all these lands for ourselves, which enables us to gain, a huge amount of monthly income from them. So we're close to fabricating our claim here, which will then allow us to form the Duchy of Ulster, which we will need to do in order to form the Kingdom of Ireland. Now, if we look at the Kingdom of Ireland, we have the 7 de jure counties. We could form the Kingdom of Ireland, however, we need 2 duchy titles. Currently, we can't form the Duchy of Connacht because Dublin has one of the lands. Same for the Duchy of Meath because Dublin has one of the lands. And finally, the same for the Duchy of Leinster because Dublin has one of those lands. So again, we could fight Dublin, take them out, take those lands, but we're doing a slightly different strategy. So again, now that we have our claim fabricated here. We'll declare war on them. And ducal conquest of the county. Ah, right. So because we have actually chosen the ducal conquest, we don't actually have to fabricate these claims. We can use our ducal conquest of county in order to take over these lands. Now you can see the prestige cost is much higher. If I show you against Oriel, going for our claims, it's only 63 prestige. However, for a ducal conquest, it's 375, so a lot higher. Luckily, we do have all the prestige necessary, but since we did fabricate the claim, we could have saved 84 gold, but it's fine. We paid the money. Let's go in and pay the lower prestige cost. Now, one thing you could consider doing, which I'm not, is creating a mangonel man-at-arms regiment, which would greatly increase the siege speed of your army. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to save as much gold as possible in order to more quickly form the duchies and kingdoms necessary in order to gain the Emerald Isle achievement. And you can see that once they moved in here to start sieging our lands, our counselor gets moved out of there. That's because you can't increase control in a county that's being sieged. So let's move him over to Ossuary. That's something that you kind of do have to micromanage if you want to increase the amount of gold and levies that you gain in the most quick amount of time. Now they may siege this down, which would be kind of unfortunate, but because they are a single county province, we have high military, so this is great for us. But because they are a single county province, once we take this, we will have 100% war score no matter what. Alright, so we finished the siege there. We get 100% war score from full occupation, so we can take that final land for ourselves. Now we can start creating duchies and also creating the Kingdom of Ireland. However, I'm going to wait till I have all the gold necessary, which is 600 gold in order to create the Duchy of Ulster, so 200 gold for that, and then 400 gold for the Kingdom of Ireland. This is because if we create that duchy and for some reason we die, maybe we get assassinated or some other random event occurs, because of our Confederate partition, our lands would be split up. Actually, our lands are going to be split up anyway because of Confederate partition. I should have remembered that. So I guess there's no problem in creating it right away, although we would spend gold and it would automatically get created for our son. So it's actually just better to wait for the 600 gold in order to create the kingdom. Now what we could do is start expanding again. We do have a casus belli against Ulster. You know, the more we expand, the more money we can get. Also in sieges, we could possibly take prisoners that we can ransom. So that is a definite possibility and something I'm actually going to go for. So let's declare our war up here. We will go over our domain limit, but we can just hand those out to people like our son. So I'm gaining a lot of stress because people, I guess my brothers are dying for whatever reason. Probably from all of these battles. And it looks like my son has died as well. So I'm gaining critical stress. That's unfortunate. Let's see what happens. So we could become depressed, which would be, let's see, melancholic, which is pretty bad. We could become inapathetic, which also seems pretty bad. So we'll just press on. Oh, frozen grief is not great either. Alright, let's do this. We'll not eat, which seems pretty bad, but at least we won't gain a health negative. So we want to stay alive long enough to form this kingdom. Okay, great. Whatever random events that gave them a fort level just went away. This will mean that we can siege them more quickly. For some reason, they gave up their siege up there and they're going in a circle. The AI is very smart. No, not really. Let's see. Hopefully we get some good prisoners. No prisoners again. So enforce the demands. Now that our domain is higher than the amount of holdings we want, actually, We should give this one away. We have 0 control there, whereas we have 23 here. Let's give it away to our son. We can arrange his marriage probably to... And apparently we can't find somebody. There we go. Clicking arrange marriage versus clicking the spouse button gives you a much different set. So let's marry him off to some baron. She seems nice. She seems fine. You can also sort by sum of all skills, which is really strong. However, these are kind of older women. However, it would be alright because we can have multiple spouses. So even if she becomes infertile by the time he's old enough, we can marry a younger person who has some congenital traits that we want. So sum of all skills is a fine one to grab because of the fact that their assistance to you gives you bonuses to your traits. So you can see here, assistance from spouse +4, assistance from spouse +2. All these little assistances are really good for boosting up your skills. So yeah, why not? And then let's give our son those lands after they get married. Excellent. Grant him the title of Ulster. Now he can do his thing of increasing control there and all that. Possible. Let's see, is there any perks that can give us gold here? Increase county control progress grain. That would help. Also, if we could switch off into stewardship for wealth focus, that would be really awesome. But we're going to have to wait until the 1st of July, which is right around the corner. So that's pretty good. So we select wealth focus for plus 10% monthly income. Now instead of 7.8, we're getting 8.7. So again, we're getting closer to that 600 gold goal. So unfortunately, we gained the malnourished trait, likely because of our inappetitic. So let's see, we can try to gain weight, which should counteract that. Hopefully that helps out for us. We could also try and decrease our stress level by spending money on feasts or hunting, but again, we're trying to get to that 600 as quickly as possible. So long term, once we become the king, we could actually vassalize Dublin. So let's start trying to sway him, increase his opinion of us, and then once he becomes our de jure vassal, we'll see if we can vassalize him. Great, so we lost malnourished. Always good to go over here and try to start gaining weight once you get that malnourished trait. Okay, so apparently some king is offering us 75 gold, which we're going to want to take, so we get to 600. We can try and imprison Mayor Ionar. I don't even know who that dude is. He's not even one of our guys, so we don't really care. So yeah, apparently we ambushed and killed some dude. For the money. But that's great because it does give us enough money to create the Duchy of Ulster, which we'll create. And now we can create the Kingdom of Ireland. So now we are a high and mighty king. Apparently we have some special decision, probably for Tanistry. Let's see, can we offer him vassalage? He's close, but not quite. I'm of a different... When did you become Catholic? That's weird. That doesn't usually happen. But... So yeah, possibly we're going to just have to go to war and make him our vassal that way. But we do now have the Kingdom of Ireland, and if I unpause the game, we should gain the Emerald Isle achievement right up there, and we got it. So this was the beginner's guide to gaining the Emerald Isle achievement, and from here, what you're going to want to do is consolidate your kingdom. You're going to want to take these lands from Dublin, take whatever remaining lands in the Kingdom of Ireland that you don't already have, and then from there you can start expanding into perhaps Wales, like these princes are pretty weak, or up into Scotland. Definitely don't want to go into England just yet. However, the King of England is your ally, and you do gain a lot of prestige from becoming a king yourself. So as part of your expansion, you can actually start calling the King of England in as you say expand up into here into the Scottish lands. Maybe even go all the way up into Iceland, take that area for yourself. So yeah, you're going to want to keep growing stronger until you have enough strength to take on England yourself. And that means, of course, gaining some strong allies. Perhaps the King of France, King of Norway can help. The King of Denmark or Sweden, possibly. So that would be your next steps after becoming the King of Ireland and gaining the Emerald Isle achievement. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this beginner's guide. Toss a like if you did, and stick around for more Crusader Kings 3 tutorials. Also, let me know if I missed anything or if you have any other tips that you think would be beneficial for this achievement run. Until next time, do remember, as always, to take care of yourself.